It's been an interesting week, and I'm going to talk about the Ascension and the benefits of the Ascension, that Jesus going to heaven. And he said it would be better that he went instead of staying, and we're going to talk about some of those things. But this week, if you noticed, I got some of my ear cut out, and I thought about this. I said, when Jesus comes back and get us, he said when he was going to heaven, he's going to come back and get us. Well, you think all my parts will come back together? Because, I'm slowly being parted out, so, out of my side, out of my throat, out of my ear. It's all seems to be going away here. But anyway, all I can tell you is I don't live with just the present in mind. I live with eternity in mind. And we all should, as Christians, we should understand that. And this morning, I want us to understand why Jesus said it was better that he went to heaven and sits at the right hand of the Father. And last week, we talked about him being our high priest, sitting as an advocate next to the Father. And I love the mental picture, and I think in pictures, which makes me weird, but I do. I can see heaven and Jesus sitting there next to the Father, and Rodney stumbles and makes mistakes, and yes, pastors do. We sin too. I know they'd like for you to think they don't, but they do. And in my mind, I can see Jesus said, Dad, I got that. I've already, don't you put that in that ledger sheet. It's been taken care of. And so I don't live in fear that I'm going to go to hell and all this, because Jesus has told me he's advocating for me. He's holding me with an anchor, and that he's going to pull me in when the day comes. And I'm just excited about it. But Jesus spent 40 days with the disciples, teaching them and just restoring them and just being in fellowship with them. But the time came to say goodbye, and the disciples' lives have been changed totally. They went from being fishermen and tax collectors to being disciples of not just a teacher, but of the Christ, the Messiah. And they'd never be the same. And I hope that's the case for you this morning. Every time you come and hear the word, I hope you receive it in your heart and you allow the Holy Spirit to attach it to you and grow and change you, and you will never be the same. And that you have an encounter with the Messiah himself through his words. But the disciples were there, and he tells them it's time for me to go. And he had told them that it would be better that he leave. In Acts 1, 9, 11, he says, now when he had spoken these things, while they watched, he was taken up, and the cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven, as it went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, who said, Men of Galilee, why do you stand gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus who was taken up from you into heaven will also come in like manner as you saw him go into heaven. Earlier in John 16:7, Jesus said to them, but I tell you the truth, it is for your good that I'm going away. He was saying to disciples and to you and I love you. I'm not going to leave you alone. I'm not going to leave you powerless. It is necessary for you to live a victorious life, and that life to the full, for me to go to the Father. And yes, we can live victorious life here on this earth. I went to a prayer breakfast, I think it was last Monday or Tuesday, I don't know, it might have been the week before, it all runs in together. And the lady spoke, and she says, we can choose whether we're going to be victims or victorious. The choice we make is in Jesus Christ. He has made us victorious. We were his crown, by the way, praise to him. It's not just his crown,